To say I'm excited for this video is an understatement. So today we're going to be doing something a little bit different. I'm going to talk to you and review all of the romance books that I have read. Specifically romance because that is my favorite genre and I can't seem to get away from that. So I started reading in grade 9 actually, and fun fact, before I despised reading. Like I hated it, like to my core. I hated reading. And then I started reading when TikTok really started to become a thing. And I was on the book side of TikTok. I remember Colleen Hoover was like a huge thing. So I decided to read one of her books. And the first book I read was It Ends With Us. And I was like, okay, this is pretty good. Like this is good. And then I was like, let me read another one. I read Ugly Love. And then I was like, okay, I could get behind this. It just got better from there. I read so many more books. And yeah, I read for the escapism 100%. It's basically like you live in every world. Like in every book, there's a new world that you live in. But not just because of the escapism, but I can like live vicariously through the main character and pretend that I am the main character and I'm going through the things that they're going through. So today I'm going to be sharing some books that I've been recently loving and some books that I read in the past that maybe they just weren't what I thought they would be. Let's get into it. Number 1 is A Simple Favor by Darcey Bell. So the book follows two moms. They are recent best friends. One of the moms, her name is Stephanie, and the other, her name is Emily. And Emily, she just disappears, like literally without a trace. And Stephanie, she runs this online blog, kind of like a YouTube channel. And with her blog, she does like a deep dive into the dark mystery of why she went missing, like why her best friend just disappeared. Like Emily left her kid, he just with Stephanie one day and just left. And let's just say Stephanie uncovers a lot more than what she bargained for. Very twisted and unsettling. It was so good, so good. There's actually a movie about it. Originally, I watched the movie before the book. I like them both, like equally. They're great, but the movie is fantastic. I used to watch it on repeat when I was younger. Now, things I loved about this book was there was like this psychological tension and it was like a constant guessing game. What's with all the secrecy? You know, and it's kind of like this contrast between like a suburban mother and her just day-to-day life and for her son's school and like going to PTA meetings and very like suburbia. Then that whole contrast to like this dark, brooding, like secret life that the other mother, Emily, that she has. Now, honestly, the book was good. So I'm gonna give it a solid 3.5 out of 5 because I would read it again and I like the movie. So it was a good story overall. Next, we have Normal People. Now, there's a huge controversy over this book. Everybody seems to hate this book. And to be quite frank, I understand. I get it. I did not like it. I was on the side of complete dislike. I was so confused. This whole book was just, I feel like a waste of my time. I cannot even express to you how confused I was reading this book. Basically, it follows these two characters, Marianne and Connell, I think, or Conwell or something like that. It's an introspective story about the two people whose relationship basically weaves in and out of just miscommunication from the get-go, and it follows them from high school into adulthood. Now, I appreciated the realism of this book and how like emotionally raw it was at times and just how like very blunt she was. Like I think it's by Sally Rooney. I think that's how you say her name. And I appreciated how blunt she was. I cannot get behind the lack of punctuation. It made it so hard to stay engaged. Like she didn't put quotations around when they were speaking. So you didn't know if the character was speaking or if it was just like the narrator, like the main character in her head, or it was just all over the place and it felt a little overwhelming. And also like the characters really frustrated me at times. The characters are frustratingly stagnant. They're so stubborn and they're stuck in their ways. I kept waiting for more of like an emotional payoff. It just felt very anticlimactic. Like the whole book was just like, this is what I'm reading. Like why? I finished it and I was like, what is happening? What did I just read? So I'm gonna give this a 1 out of 5. I would give it a 0 to be honest, but I feel like it deserves a little bit more. It was real, yeah, but it just didn't make sense. Like literally I had no idea what I was reading. Now we're gonna answer the good ones. Neon Gods by Katee Robert. Oh my God. I love this book. It was so good. I was in grade 11 when I read this book and I read it on a family vacation to Disney World. So yeah, my whole family was watching me read it. That aside, it was such a good book. To paint a picture for you, I am a sucker for romance. Specifically dark romance, okay? Like, I eat that up. We're gonna get to a few dark romance in a bit, but it's a modern retelling of Greek mythology, and it follows Hades and Persephone. So Hades is the god of the underworld, and it's like this forbidden attraction. Persephone is the girl, and she goes down to the underworld because she's supposed to marry Zeus, which is her father, which don't even get me started. So she goes down to the underworld like, I need to escape Zeus, like help me. Hades is like, you can't be here. And I guess they work out some sort of arrangement to make her unworthy of being Zeus's wife, is for her to have relations with Hades. Obviously, like Zeus and Hades, Greek mythology, they're not getting along. They make it publicly known, and I'll just leave it at that. Like, Greek mythology meets dark romance. What I loved about Neon Gods was there was something about Hades and Persephone where I was just like, I need to be Persephone. The tension. Persephone and Hades, the banter. I was on, like, literally, I was on fire. Like, light me on fire. And also, Persephone held a very bold and, like, empowered female role, which I appreciated. That was great. I love that for her. And she does not play like a damsel in distress role at all, even though, like, I did say at the beginning that she wanted help, but like, she's manipulative in her own ways. So the tropes of this book, I would say, are forbidden attraction, enemies to lovers, which enemies to lovers, my personal fave. Next, we have a very controversial topic because I know everybody loves this book and I just can't get behind it. It's Shatter Me. I'm sorry, but I can't. I don't like it just because, like, I'm not the biggest fan of fantasy, which I feel like you have to like it. So if you are into fantasy and romance, definitely give Shatter Me a try. Normal people, below this, 100%. It was an okay read, and I just had a very difficult time to finish the book. Okay, so the story follows this character, and her name is Juliet. Juliet has like this lethal touch where she's kept away by the government. She's been locked away until this like dystopian government decides to use her as a weapon. She's basically spent her whole life isolated until this one moment where she's let out into the world. Then there's this guy named Adam Kent, and he's one of the first people that Juliet connects with outside of her cell. He's very quiet and protective, and he has a complicated connection to her past. Like, I think they met in like elementary school, I want to say. And he kind of represents like this hope for Juliet that she hasn't felt before. And then we move on to Aaron Warner. Now, this was the topic of book talk. Like, he was book talk, I swear to God. Aaron Warner was book talk. He was the definition of fantasy book talk. I can't get behind it. I am all for brutal, brooding, don't touch my woman or I kill you kind of energy. Love it. But there was just something about him that, like, I think he made her kiss his feet. And I was like, okay. Well, just maybe not my cup of tea. If that's your cup of tea, I absolutely love that for you. But I can't get behind it. He's like this military leader who is obsessed with Juliet's power. And to be fair, I only read the first book. Like, I only read Shatter Me. There's like a series of, I want to say like 4, maybe 5. In the first book, he seems like a villain, but I guess later in the books, he's maybe not. There's layers to his character that the story later uncovers throughout the series. And the trope for this book is a love triangle, dystopian government, trauma, and identity. Throughout the series, then it becomes like an enemies to lovers situation. This is my fave. This is The Love Hypothesis by Ali Hazelwood. I love her books. Ali Hazelwood is like, there's just something about her. Like, she warms my heart. Okay? Her books are so good. So good. Now, I'm a sucker for fake dating romances. I love them because I think that I could be in one. I think that if I could totally just thrive in a fake dating situation. The Love Hypothesis is a fake dating setup where a PhD student and a professor spiral into real feelings for each other. There's a lot of awkward moments. I'm gonna be so serious. It was like secondhand embarrassment that I was getting through the book. Some like wholesome tension that's very unexpected. So Olive, this girl right here, she is the main character. She has the most like quirky inner monologue, and I love that. Like, I love when a character has good monologue. Adam, this handsome fella here, they also play kind of like a grumpy sunshine role. Not so much enemies to lovers, because I would say more on like the grumpy sunshine part. Adam, he's like this grumpy, broody professor who just has like this hidden soft side for Olive. Oh my God, it's so good. The fake dating trope is done right. It's done right and very well. There were some parts of the dialogue that felt a bit like fanficky to me, because like, I mean, it kind of is. there was just something about it that was like, am I reading Wattpad? You know? But I mean, I used to love Wattpad, so whatever. Sign me up for more books like that. Honestly, to be quite frank, 5 out of 5. 5 out of 5. Next book is called The Ritual. I'm gonna put it up on the screen because I've been reading it on my Kindle. This book is crazy. So the book is set in like this elite secret society at a dark university. The Ritual follows Riot, I think his name is. He's like this dominant alpha type where he's a member of the Order. That's like the secret society. And Blakely is this girl thrown into his world where like control and obsession and dark romance collide. I just want to put it out there before you read this book, please read the triggers on it. Like if you are triggered, it is heavy and it is a lot. Sometimes I'll be like, oh wow, that's okay, I'm gonna have to put the book down. But it's really good. It's so twisted and so steamy and just full of very taboo subjects. And I would like to say that I am still reading it. Like I'm not finished this book, but what I loved is the dark academia style of this book. I really liked it. And it's like this power play kind of setting. And then Riot has this obsessiveness and like possessive energy over Blakely. I love it. Do not like that in real life. I'm gonna say that. But in books, sign me up. Sign me up. And then the tension from start to finish. Haven't finished it, but from start to where I'm at. Oh, dear Lord. The tension. So good. Like I said, the thing that didn't work or that hasn't worked for me so far is the consent in this book was a bit murky at times. We don't actually know if she said it was okay. This is just a bad situation. Yeah, I don't know. That was a little uncomfy, but I'm still reading it. So at times the plot kind of took a backseat on the level of spice that was happening. So if you're here for the story, it might fall flat and I wouldn't recommend it if you just want it for like the plot. If you are really into like dark romance and spice and like that's really what you care about, go for it. It's a great read. It's just not for everyone. From where I'm at right now, 4 out of 5. I like it. I like it. This book is written by Elena Armas, I believe. So the book follows, I think her name's Catalina. The book follows Catalina and basically to avoid questions about why she doesn't have a date for her sister's wedding in Spain. Again, fake dating. She needs a fake boyfriend. Now enter her cold, intimidating coworker, Aaron, who surprisingly agrees. They hate each other. They hate. You will notice a common theme. I'm obsessed with books with banter, enemies to lovers, pure hatred. Now I like slow burns and this is definitely one of them. It's slow burn meets enemies to lovers and they go on a vacation. They go on a trip to Spain. It's filled with chemistry and chaos and tension, all the good things. What I loved about this book, it was the slowest of slow burns. The tension, delicious chef's kiss. Aaron, that's it. That's the sentence. Just Aaron. I also really loved like the family dynamics, really added a depth to the book and the plot and the Spanish setting. Not that I can actually like see it, but in my imagination, I know it's good. Now this is a pretty long book. I think it's like 350 to 400, something like that, maybe a little bit more than 400. It's a hefty sized book, but if you're here for it and you like slow burns, just read it. It was my #1 at the time, so 5 out of 5. And then we have Ugly Love by Colleen Hoover. This was the second book that I actually really truly read, like for my own enjoyment. It is an emotional roller coaster. Let me just say that. It's an emotional roller coaster. The book follows Tate and Miles. Miles is like this broken, distant man with a very painful past, and their no strings attached arrangement. It's messy. It's very complicated and undeniably consuming. The love, not always pretty. What I loved was the dual timeline element. So it goes Tate's present and then Miles's past. Now the trope for Ugly Love is friends with benefits and no strings attached. Ooh. Without spoilers, friends with benefits don't really work out well. But after finishing this book, 3.5 out of 5. It was pretty good. It wasn't the best thing I've ever read, but at the time, when it was like the second book that I had read, for my own enjoyment, I really enjoyed it. It was really good. I would say if you're just starting to get into like reading romance, it's a good gateway for romance novels. If you've read any of these books, let me know if you agree or have a completely different point of view. And if you have any recommendations based on these, let me know. Please drop a comment below. Like I am always here to reading new books. And if you want a more themed video like self-help books or more of the dark academia books or romance that just doesn't make you cringe, let me know. I'll make a part 2. I have hundreds of books. Like we can do this. I can definitely give you a part 2. Okay, bye.